Hey everyone! Today's video will be about genetic mutations. Hope you enjoy! So, the pathway for protein synthesis shows us that DNA encodes for messenger RNA, which eventually leads to the synthesis of a protein. In this pathway, the base pairs of the DNA and mRNA match to code for a certain protein. We can see here that if just one single base pair is changed, the RNA output is altered, completely changing the protein being produced. So, with this idea in mind, we can define a mutation as an alteration or mistake in the DNA which leads to abnormal protein production. Let's now talk about the different types of mutations that can occur. The following types of mutations are named for their effects on the DNA. Firstly, the most basic form of a mutation is a single nucleotide polymorphism, SNP. SNPs occur when one DNA base in a sequence is changed to another. In this example, a cytosine base has been replaced by a guanine base. This leads to a change in one RNA nucleotide and thus changes the amino acid. Now, let's have a look at a mutation that has a more serious effect on the DNA sequence: frameshift mutations. Protein coding DNA is divided into codons, each made up of 3 nucleotides. Both insertion or deletion events can lead to a frameshift, where the codons are read incorrectly. Consider this example, where the mRNA sequence codes for a chain of 4 leucine amino acids. If one extra guanine base was inserted into the DNA sequence, it would lead to an added cytosine base in the messenger RNA. The single insertion will shift the reading frame of the RNA. This means that all the codons after the extra cytosine will not be read correctly, and in this case, cause the output of proline amino acids. Let's now talk about mutations by regarding their effect on the protein. A nonsense mutation is caused by an SNP event, where the altered DNA sequence signals a premature stop codon. This then instructs the cell to stop building the protein, resulting in a shortened protein which may function abnormally or not at all. An example of a nonsense mutation on humans can be seen in Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. DMD is a neuromuscular disorder that is caused by a nonsense mutation on the X chromosome. The nonsense mutation has damaged the gene responsible for producing the protein dystrophin, which is important in stabilizing the dystroglycan complex in the cell membranes of muscle cells. Missense mutation is any change in one DNA base pair which changes one amino acid into another. The codon is altered by SNP and results in an output of an unintended amino acid. This can have profound effects on the human phenotype. Such an effect is seen in the example of sickle cell anemia, which is caused by SNP in the beta hemoglobin gene. This single base change converts a GAG codon into GUG, changing glutamic acid into valine. Ultimately, this causes an abnormality in the hemoglobin which carries oxygen, as the red blood cells are of a rigid, sickle-like shape. Up to this point, we have explored mutations which occur on a small scale. There are also large-scale mutations which occur at the chromosomal level. There are 2 forms of large-scale mutations: translocation and chromosomal inversion. Translocation is caused by a rearranging of sections between 2 non-homologous chromosomes. For example, a section of chromosome 4 translocating with chromosome 20 is a translocation mutation. Mutations caused by translocation are responsible for many aggressive forms of cancer, lymphomas, and leukemia. Chromosomal inversion occurs when genes on the same chromosome switch place. These changes don't affect the number of nucleotides encoding for a gene. Therefore, this type of mutation plays a larger role in affecting how specific genes are regulated and expressed, as inversions can alter the effectiveness of promoter and regulatory regions within a gene. It is important to remember not all mutations have negative effects. The truth is, mutations are beneficial to the human race as they create variation. Ultimately, mutations are crucial to genetic diversity, because if everyone was genetically identical, all 7.45 billion of us would be much more vulnerable to extinction. So, the important thing to remember is that genetic diversity generated by mutations is critical to the survival of life.
This is my reflection for our genetics video. I think what worked the best in our assignment was the fact that everyone had an allocated role in the team. So I did the script, Marie did the video, and Anthony did the voiceover of the video. This meant that everyone was able to contribute equally, and it ensured that we all worked really well as a team. I think the most challenging part of the whole assignment was picking a topic. Because the criteria of the assignment was so broad, we kind of had a hard time selecting something that we could stick with for the whole assignment. But in the end, we picked genetic mutation as our topic, and I think our video really paid off in the sense that it reflects our target audience really well. We made our video educational and really interesting for an audience of young high school students.
Hi, my name's Marie, and for the video I did the filming and editing of the final animation. I think that Anthony, Emily and I really did work well as a team. When we all came together, we each had really good ideas that we were comfortable in contributing with each other, so it ended up that we had quite a few ideas floating around. This eventually ended up being quite difficult to choose our final topic for the video, but when we actually came down to it and we chose genetic mutations, we really quickly delegated the roles that we knew we would be best at, so then in the end the final product would be as best as we could make it. And then those delegations were done really well. We each did our part reasonably quickly so that we didn't have any time constraints at the end. We weren't rushing at the end to get it finished. And yeah, I think we did really well as a team. Next time I would think that we should get a few more meetings throughout the process just so we could get like final editing issues and everything done. But other than that, yeah, we worked really well.
Initially, we were quite unsure as to what topic we would make the film about. We all had shared interest in genetic mutations, and, well, it being such an inherently interesting topic, we all agreed to make the film on that. There was the challenge of how we would go about making the film. We went on YouTube and found people drawing on whiteboards, and we thought we'd make something similar because the format was just quite appealing. My role in the team was the voiceover for the film.